केंद्र सरकार में मंत्री श्रीमती स्मृति जुबिन ईरानी जी, अपैरल एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन काउंसिल चेयरमैन डॉक्टर सत्यवेल जी, श्री सुधीर शेखरी, ambassadors of various countries and high commissioners, members of April Export Promotion Council, members from the textiles sector, all other friends who have all joined this virtual launch today. I'm indeed very much pleased to inaugurate the virtual platform for apparel products of the Apparel Export Promotion Council today. This is indeed an excellent idea, a timely initiative. The ongoing pandemic has necessitated export promotion events to take place only in the virtual medium. In this context, the initiative of the virtual platform by AEPC is highly commendable. I'm sure this will go a long way in promoting Indian apparel exports around the world. My dear sisters and brothers, textile industry in India is the second largest employer, providing direct employment to about 45 million people. This is next only to agriculture sector. Apparel sector itself, the segment within textiles, provides employment to about 12.9 million people. Also, most of the people working in this industry are women workers. The apparel industry is also a very important foreign exchange earning industry for India. The domestic textile apparel industry contributes 2.3% to India's GDP, 7% to the country's manufacturing production, and 12% in export earnings. These numbers simply illustrate the criticality of the sector to our macro economy. For India, the textile industry is important not just as a source of foreign exchange or for labor absorption. As a matter of fact, it is a part of India's rich and glorious heritage culture. In ancient times, Indian fabrics were world famous for their superior quality and exquisite craftsmanship. Indian fabric was most coveted in those times. Possessing it was a sign of prosperity and pride. However, the vibrant sector suffered a decline when the colonial era began, with the farmers facing hard situations, harsh land revenues, weavers lacking patronage, exporters suffering from heavy export duties. Indian textiles and apparel sector deteriorated. With the advent of westernization, our cultural heritage was relegated. The flooding of the Indian market with machine-made cloth from Britain dealt a huge blow to the domestic sector. This was a plan by the Britishers at that time. The importance of textile to the Indian economy and the way of life can also be gauged from the role it played in our freedom struggle. Starting with the Swadeshi movement, the call given by the nationalists for use of Swadeshi cloth can perhaps be termed as the first ever call for Atmanirbhar in India. The spinning of khadi on a charka became a great symbol for Swaraj and led to the rise of national consciousness. It connected the poor and the rich, peasants and the craftsmen, women, and people from all the regions like no other unifying factor. It's really a great unifying factor. My dear sisters and brothers, although the nature of the sector and the demand change over the time, it still exerts a heavy influence on our economy. It is widely recognized that the apparel sector is the most labor-intensive sector and employs skilled manpower. This sector can play a major role in tapping the potential of our dividend, as lakhs of youth will be joining the job market every year. With the induction of Smriti Zubin Irani as the minister, this sector, the textiles, have really received a big boost and more attention because of her innovative initiatives and the dynamism she has shown and her accessibility to the people concerned. The apparel sector is also known to be conducive to employ women and is dominated by women workers. Some estimates show that they account for more than 70% of the total workforce. Now, fortunately, we have a woman minister. It will get further encouragement. 50% of our population are women. They need employment. They need self-employment. They need economic upliftment also. These opportunities in this sector, the sector can be a true vehicle of social transformation in remote areas. It can correct the low labor force participation among women in rural areas and can financially empower women and children. Studies have shown that this sector's expansion has positive outcomes regarding women's education and total fertility rate. I saw myself how the women empowerment takes place. My daughter and other friends are running a trust, Swarna Bharat Trust, where skill development is a major course they offer. And I see a lot of rural women, young girls coming and learning these skills and then feeling empowered. And I could see the happiness on their faces. Whenever I visit the institute, I particularly visit these women skill development centers. In order to tap apparel sector's full potential, we need to recognize and address the challenges faced by the sector. In reality, these challenges have to be viewed as opportunities waiting to be exploited. The women, they are more innovative. They have great ideas, skills. If you give them proper encouragement and if you spot it and then give them the needed training, they will excel. That's why the Prime Minister has now started a separate ministry for skill development, because we need to skill. There's an inherent skill in men and women in our country, irrespective of their background. We need to tap that and we need to encourage it and we need to upgrade those skills. If the skilled manpower or woman power, presence of that power in manufacturing, that too in all segments of textile value chain, is very, very useful. For instance, India is the largest producer of cotton and jute, and the second largest producer of man-made fibers and silk globally. We also have a strong global presence in cotton yarn. But this competitive edge is missing when it comes to fabrics and apparel. Countries like China and Bangladesh are the biggest buyers of Indian yarn. They add value to it and sell the fabrics and apparels at a lower cost compared to India. Why? We should ponder over this question. China's share of 51% in cotton fabrics is very high compared to India's 5 to 6%. Compared to India, largely arises out of the unorganized and dispersed nature of the weaving sector in India. We need to have more and more tirpurs. I suggest the people who are interested in the sector, who are working in the sector, will make a visit to Tirupur. see how this knowledge is spread and this movement is picking up and making women economically strong. Small-scale business need hand-holding and should be supported in scaling up and improving the quality to match our global competitors. Another persistent issue that needs to be addressed is the use of old and outdated technology and low productivity and quality levels. The ideas and technology has to be combined. The creativity of Indian woman, man, and the technology, if you intervene these two things, you can really excel. I must compliment the government for aiding this sector through an amended technology upgradation fund scheme. TUFs, to give a boost to the small-scale firms. This is an excellent scheme and concerted effort must be made to deliver the benefits of the scheme to the firms in second and third tier cities. Similarly, programs that can upskill the textile workers should also be taken up in a bigger way. This way, we can ensure our competitive edge will be more than just technology and cheap labor. While Bangladesh and Vietnam are giving a strong competition to our products because of the availability of cheaper labor in those countries. Skilled manpower, more than anything else, should be our core strength. State government should also partner in this endeavor by offering incentives and ensuring uninterrupted quality power supply at affordable rates, which has been a concern for the sector. Textile entrepreneurs, on their part, must try to diversify their manufacturing portfolios to suit the changing global demands and tap newer markets. The bottom line is this: unless the average size of apparel firm grows, adopts latest technology, and possesses skilled manpower, we cannot manufacture quality items and export at competitive prices. Only this way we can exploit the full employment and economic potential of our industry. One of the proposed projects of the NITI Aayog this year is to work with the Textile Ministry to set up mega textile firms to boost our exports in both fabric and garment sector. This is a welcome initiative. We call upon the private sector to partner with the government and innovate in the textile sector to improve the exports. My dear brothers and sisters, while improving our export competitiveness, we cannot lag in areas that are not traditional in our textile industry. There was a certain initial reluctance and it came to man-made fibers segment and technical textiles. We must shed this hesitancy and upgrade and upskill our workers and entrepreneurs to ride on these sunrise sectors. Technical textiles are expected to hold great promise of the future. The advances in material sciences. The global market for technical textiles is expected to reach $220 billion by 2022. India is still picking up in this area, about 4% of the market share. We need to increase the share by encouraging budding entrepreneurs to look for international markets and taking proactive measures. The recently announced production-linked incentive PLI scheme for the MMF and the technical textile sector will go a long way in this regard. My dear sisters and brothers, I must congratulate all of you and the Ministry of Textiles for promoting the manufacturing and export of medical textiles, PPE kits, face shields, masks, and gloves. Within no time, we have invented, and now we are supplying to other countries also. As a result of these efforts, India today stands in the second position in the world in the manufacturing of PPE kits. It is with the same entrepreneurial spirit that AIPC has made its own virtual platform for organizing export promotion events. I'm happy to note that the platform would be active at all hours and on all days, and the buyers would be able to visit and interact with Indian exporters on the platform throughout the year. I also commend the role of the Ministry of Textiles for mitigating the challenges posed by the pandemic and support given to small traders and exporters. I am confident that all these cumulative efforts will boost Indian apparel exports. We should aspire to soon reach a double-digit share in exports of fabrics if given proper encouragement, including branding. I have just recently seen a lot of youngsters looking for Modi jacket. Simple branding, na? Even in the remote areas, people are asking for Modi jacket because of the branding and the popularity of the Prime Minister and Prime Minister himself taking initiative. And recently, I visited the Khadi store in Bengaluru. I wear mostly Khadi and cotton also. And to my happiness, I found a lot of new varieties which are equivalent to what is this machine-made new fiber material, and so fine. A lot of people who see my dress, they think as if I'm getting it from somewhere. No, they are from India. They are the work of our own craftsmen and women. As I told you, if you really upskill, if you provide opportunities, and if you also add technology, we can really capture the world market once again. India is catching up worldwide, is being recognized and respected everywhere. Indian traditions, Indian culture is again coming to the fore. If we take more and more initiatives in the textile sector, we'll be able to catch the market more. And these initiatives by the AAPC, led by its chairman, Sri Shaktivelu, who is very dynamic, looks ever young. I don't know what is his exact age. This is another milestone in our journey towards Atma Nirbharata. May this inspire many such initiatives across these other industries and become a best practice for others to emulate. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.